Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, sir. Let's see.
All right.
All right, looks like it might be broadcasting. Well, it's newfangled technology.
Yes. So
There we
it's
go.
yeah.
Live, sir.
Man, tell me about it.
Woo,
All
technology.
right, we in there like cheap swimwear, baby.
We in there. We out here. Oh, guys,
Let me see.
I'm sorry for the
Oh,
delay.
there we go. All right.
There we go, brother. We got it. Look, age ain't got nothing to do with it. We gonna figure it out. We gonna thug it out.
All right.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, we in there like dollar store swimwear.
Dollar store swimwear. You said that, man. Oh man, ain't nothing but a chicken wing. But I tell you, you slide me a little grease, I slide you a piece. All right, so my urban gardeners, my soil family, my planeteers, welcome. This is a little bit of a chat and chill with myself, the urban gardening with Gray. There's a name down there in the corner. And then I have my buddy, my co-host, Mr. Urban Harvest has joined us.
Peace.
So what
We
we're
up
gonna
in here, backyard, sunny, beautiful day, loving the weather.
be, yeah. But hey, we got a little bit of rain gonna be coming through next week though. A little rain. It's gonna be about.
Definitely. I got it.
Hi, look in the chat. We got a soil sister. There's an herb for that. Good to see you.
Sir. Can't wait to see how that passion fruit look.
Oh yeah, dude. Speaking of the passion fruit, so my soil sister, there's an herb for that. If you haven't checked out her channel, definitely go check out her channel. She hooked me up for my birthday with some passion fruit seeds, and I'm so excited to grow those. I can't wait. But it's kind of a rare and exotic plant because it's actually indigenous to Brazil. So it's kind of a tropical plant. I'm kind of excited to grow it. But when I looked up the plant and looked up all of the growing details, this plant needs 10 to 12 feet to grow. It
Wow.
vines and this thing takes over. And honestly, I can't wait for it to take over because those purple flowers that come on it is going to set it off. And I went to LSU, so I'm purple all day long.
I hear you. That sounds like a very needy plant, man.
Yeah, it's gonna need a lot of TLC, brother. But I'm
That's
up
what's
for the
up.
challenge.
Sounds like fun, man. I heard passion fruit's really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't wait to make some smoothies because my kids love making smoothies.
Yeah, same here.
So
So,
what you growing this year, man? This spring.
so this spring, I'm gonna grow my typical stuff. My peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers, my lettuces. I'm gonna try a few different things. I want to try some coffee beans. First time I've never, grown coffee beans. Never even known anybody to do it. Actually, let's see. I got the beans right here. Keep them from
Oh,
blowing away in the wind.
check them out.
All right, here I go. I don't want that wind to blow away. It's windy as all get out here.
Yeah, you be like Jack the Beanstalk. Them
Man,
away in the wind.
there you go. So I got some Arabica beans. Apparently, they grow pretty decent in zone 8. They like lots of humidity.
Mm-hmm.
They like lots of heat. Don't like the cold, so I'm gonna grow it in a pot, kind of keep it protected in the wintertime. But they're apparently supposed to grow kind of probably better in the Valley, Corpus, San Antonio, Houston area. But I think I can make it do what it do up here. So we'll see. But I got these online on eBay actually. Can't remember the company, but it's a dwarf coffee bean. So it's not the plant's not gonna get very big. It's gonna be manageable. But there you go.
Nice.
So that's gonna be fun to grow. And then I'm gonna be growing some. I think they call them ground cherries or gooseberries,
Mm-hmm.
pineapple tomatillos. Another thing I'm gonna be growing. So we'll see. Growing some new stuff.
Nice, nice. I dig that. Uh, with that coffee plant, how even though it's a dwarf, what are you expecting as far as the height on it?
So on the eBay, when I order on the site, it looks like it shouldn't get more than maybe 8 feet. Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's gonna get very very big. Maybe 6 to 8 feet.
Hmm. That's still pretty big.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's a pretty good size. But in comparison to like an actual full grown coffee tree. I guess it's dwarf in comparison.
That's true.
And then I got some dwarf cherries as well.
Right on. Just got a new joiner to the live, Brown Maine. She says it says Brown
How's
Mommy.
it going?
That's my mother. So hey, mama.
Hey, mama. I'm gonna give her a star.
There
I
you
think
go.
the star is a good thing. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure this StreamYard out.
Right on. Growing
No
coffee.
idea what the star means, but
Yeah, there's an herb for that said growing coffee is a great idea. Yeah, I mean coffee and tea, that's me all day long. You know, I can't start in my garden without cups.
yeah, my wife, she loves coffee, so I got the idea to grow. I was like, it'd be pretty nice to have some own fresh ground coffee. That'd be pretty dope. So yeah, we'll see.
So I got another subscriber who said asking which name. He might not be signed in. If he's not in a signed in account, he's probably not going to show his name up in the chat. I think he's trying to get in on a live. But yeah, dude. No, that's a good idea, man. Because seriously, being from Louisiana, my go-to is always going to be community coffee. And community coffee, that's what raised me and made me. But I mean, if I grow my own beans, hey, save a little bit of change.
Did they grow that those beans, like the community coffee, and that's actually grown in Louisiana?
As long as I've drank community coffee, no. I mean, I know in Louisiana, Tabasco, and the salt mines in Louisiana, especially down towards the south. But I don't think the coffee is grown there. I mean, if it is, somebody please jump on the chat and tell me, because I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense because it's a perfect region. It's kind of humid and damp and hot and doesn't get as cold. So it'd be a perfect region for the coffee beans. It would make sense.
Right on. You know what? Speaking of humid and hot environments, I want you to tell me more about this DIY radiant barrier that you made, because I saw it on your channel and I was like, yo, that's dope, because radiant barrier, anybody who's done any kind of construction work or built their own growing hood knows that radiant barrier is a booger bear. It's like $45 a roll. If you can make your own, that's a game changer. So tell us about it, please.
Yeah, so I got a DIY video where I made some radiant barrier, and I came up with the idea. I had bought a piece of it, and it was about $10 or $15 for a piece of it. And then my little one got hold of it, and it was like, it was a toy to her. So she started playing with the foam, peeling the foam off, making it snow. And then all I was left with was a very, very thin sheet. I mean, thinner than aluminum foil sheet of aluminum reflective material. And I was like, "Dad, I just paid $15 for foam with aluminum foil glued to it." So I was like, well, if that's the case, you can essentially make your own radiant barrier. So you could either use cardboard or foam board or bubble wrap, and with spray adhesive and glue it to the bubble wrap or whatever, and now you have radiant barrier. And what you can do with that, if you got greenhouse, you can line your greenhouse with it. If you got a grow shelf or a little shelf where you're growing stuff, you can actually encase it in there, and it'll help hold the heat, retain the humidity, but also lock in the heat and kind of increase your germination rates. And I kind of, I got that idea because I was looking at a grow tent, and I was like, man, that's 145. I was like, that's nice, but I started looking. I was like, well, really, all it is just a foil box with a lid on it and with a light inside of it. I was like, essentially, you could take a cardboard box, line it with aluminum foil, and you essentially have the same thing as a grow tent. Just wouldn't look as fancy. So that was kind of my idea and thought behind that. So I have a shelf where I kind of encased it and lined it. And because, the LED lights, they're okay. They have the different spectrums, but the downside of the LED lights, they don't have the heat. And when the seeds, before they get to the actual seedling stage, they actually need that heat and humidity to make them actually start the germination process. So with the LED lights, the downside is it doesn't really give you that heat. So by encasing it in the reflective material, you kind of lock in what, a little bit of heat that you do have.
Yeah. Hey, that's a novel idea, but something I got to point out. You said it made me not look as nice. My wife will tell you it needs to look nice. She said anything that come in this house You need to look nice.
Yeah. And the reason why I use the foam backing board from Dollar Tree is because it's nice. It looks nice, you know. So I got that kind of that foam double sided material presentation board, if you will, because that looks really nice. So you can actually encase a shelf with that, and it looks good. And then you put your foil paper on the inside of it, and it achieves the same results. And like I said, and it looks nice.
I like that because you know what? That sounds like a great DIY project for kids. My kids love crafting and making stuff. So right now, my daughter is growing some spoon tomatoes, or these little bitty tomatoes that honestly fit inside of the spoon. They're fantastically small, smaller than like your Trader. And
Oh wow!
Cucumbers, 4. So you know he's gonna have to take care of them cucumbers. My daughter, Corinne, he's gonna have to take care of those tomatoes. So making a little germination station for them might be a cool little DIY project. Get the kids in the garden, you know.
Yes. Now, have you figured out how to reply to these comments yet?
Yeah, you just answer in the chat.
Let's see.
Hey, so in all my greatness while I chat.
It's a little different. Not letting me quite.
Joining us. You know what? It might be because I'm host.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you know what? I was looking at the software, and guys, apologize while we talk shop. Software, there is an option. I just found it because StreamYard didn't really explain it on their website. There is an option to add your channel on there as well. So after this broadcast is over, I'm going to see it added to your channel so that the at least the video shows up on your channel as well. Okay. And so and be a little bit more professional at it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So hey,
let me ask you a question.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Garden failures. What are some garden failures that you had and some that you want to learn from? I know we all have some.
Yes. All right. So, you know, the funny thing on YouTube, you know, you see all these people with these perfect gardens. You don't really get to see builds, right? You know, it's that reality versus the internet kind of deal on. A couple of years ago, this was back during the pandemic. I actually tried to container, unlike how traditionally done it in the past, where I just grow them in the ground. And I had a nice, like maybe 4 or 5 gallon container, and I had these tomatoes in. Plant got at least about 6 feet tall. Never got one single tomato out of there. And then it started dying off, and I was watering this thing every day, making sure I didn't get root rot and whatnot. But I was watering it vigorously. What I didn't realize is those tomatoes, they were root bound. That container had confined all those roots. So, you basically just had like a spider web of roots down there, or rat's nest of roots down there. So even though I was giving it water, the roots still couldn't breathe. So that's why I wasn't getting yeah, it was a huge fail. The plant got big and beautiful, but died off on me. So all that work went down the drain. But again, that fail, I don't really consider it. I don't see it as a fail because I learned from it. You know what I mean? So now I look out. I have a plethora of container plants that I'm growing and herbs and stuff. But first thing I check out for is make sure I got proper drainage and making sure that my plants aren't going to be root bound. What about you, man? Any fails?
Yes. So as far as my fails this year, one of them I learned about vine borers and squash. So I kind of learned, I lost all my squash, all my cucumbers. And I kind of learned about vine borers and kind of how to treat them. DTs is one really good way, and nematodes is another really good way to treat them. And then I just learned to actually inject the BT into the actual stalk. I never would have thought about that. So I kind of learned, how to deal with the squash or the vine borers. And so the next year I'll be kind of more prepared. And, I also learned a little bit, more about, I was trying to cram everything into my box and trying to get the most space, and started really looking at, okay, I just need to build another box, because I need a certain amount of space for these vegetables to really grow, and I wasn't giving them the space that they needed.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Boxes usually don't like a whole bunch of things cramped in them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
live
No,
and you learn.
Live and you learn. Right on. Now I heard that you told me about you were working on a new box, right? How you doing this new box?
Yeah. So this new box, I got two new boxes. One of them, my goal was to see within a budget, because the first thing when I built it, the wife was like, "Well, how much that's gonna cost us?" And so I wanted to, challenge myself to try to build it, 80, 90% free. So one of the boxes is going to be probably my fruit and strawberry boxes. I gathered wood from the construction sites. Most of these guys are pretty good. If you walk up to them, usually depending on what stage in the build process, if they're towards the end, they have like a ton of just scrap material that they're going to take to the landfill anyway. So you picking it up, you're actually doing them a favor, because they're going to have to go throw it away, pay to get it taken away and trashed. So I just go there, pick up as many 2x4s as I can. Some of them in good shape, some of them not so good shape. Some of them have to splice together, But I built this small fruit box basically from all just reclaimed lumber. Just took the nails out. Really didn't care how it looked, just as long as it was, pretty solid, and whatever bad pieces I cut off. And then the second one is going to be a little bit bigger box for my brassicas and actually no, for my beans and tomatoes. This box I built not 100% free, but on a discount, because I went to Lowe's, and in Lowe's there's usually a section where they got damaged wood and whatnot. If you talk to them, they'll give you 80%, sometimes free, on those scrap pieces of wood. So I got a bunch of scrap, 1x6s, scrap fence planks essentially. And then the only thing I really paid a lot for was the stones. I want to try them. There's these like landscaping stones, or not landscape, but just these stones that have slots cut in them, and they're made to where you just literally drop your 2x6 and slide it in place, and it's like a no-tool raised garden bed instantly. So I wanted to try it, but I didn't want to pay the money for the 2x6s, so I just used the fence planks, and I had to actually shim them up on the ends to take up that inch and a half distance that it would have been missing.
Nice. Uh, that's actually pretty dope. Because what I have learned through all these years of failures and gardening and whatnot, this can be an expensive hobby. So being
Yes, it can.
on a discount,
and it really goes back to kind of what your goal is. I know a couple guys will spend like tons of money buying indoor grow station and fancy lights and hydroponic systems, and it's cool and all if that's what you're into, because everybody got to have a hobby, right? Some people spend it on sports games. Some people spend it on expensive guns. Some people spend it on expensive bicycles. Everybody has to have a hobby. But for me, there's a tons of other hobbies I can spend my money on. Gardening, as far as a hobby, I ain't really trying to just spend tons of money on. For me, my purpose for gardening really is I want, good quality food, because the garbage they sell you at the grocery store, it's not what's up. You get, nasty strawberries, bland apples, just trash. And it just, that's the reality of fact. But when you grow your own, I mean, the first time I grew some tomatoes, man, them jokers was huge, man. They about this size, and they were so like just full of flavor, man. Them suckers were busting open with flavor. And ever since then, I was like, man, growing your own food, that's what's up. And so, with that being said, you know, I want to grow the food. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor, but I'm really not trying to break the bank. I really want to spend as least as possible. And you really don't. People think, oh, you need this, you need that, all that. All that stuff's cool and it's fun to add all the worm castings and stuff like that. But truth be told, you just have regular soil and just do basic stuff. My pops, man, he had a little garden for years, and the only thing he did, he buy a little couple-dollar bag of cow manure, and he would rake up leaves and till it in the soil every year. That's all he did. And he go to the feed store and buy like 99 cents worth of seeds. And he didn't do no grow station. He planted them straight into the ground. And this guy, man, he'd have like rows of collard greens and whatnot. So it doesn't have to be as fancy and advanced. It's cool for us to do it.
Well, you brought up a very good point. Sorry about the noise in the background. That's pretty loud. But you brought up a very good point. It depends why you're doing it. If you're doing this for the showmanship of it and like, ooh, look at all the beautiful things that I've grown, then yeah, you can end up spending a pretty penny because that's why you're growing it. But if you're growing it just trying to your own food, supplement your grocery bill or something like that, then yeah, honestly, I mean, sowing seeds is simple as just place some seed in the ground and watch it grow. And yeah, it does get expensive when you start talking about pesticides and things like that, but there are a lot of regular, um, everyday household products that are organic that just
Right.
like for instance, when I found out about making my own orange oil, by taking orange peel and actually putting it out of boiling water and extracting that vitamin C and that citrus out of the orange peel. I mean, shoot, I use that orange oil for
Right.
everything. Use it to add acidity to my citrus plants when I'm trying to grow like my lemons and so forth. I use it to remove labels because that's the active ingredient in any of your adhesive removals is citrus, and plus protecting plants. So be expensive if you want to, if you let it.
Right.
Guys, can y'all hear us? The wind is kind of blowing pretty hard out here.
Yeah, it's picking up a little bit. It's kind of shifting, coming and going.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. So, all right. If I was a new gardener and you wanted to give me some, I was a new gardener, and what would you recommend? Like, what was to be some things that that you would recommend that I start trying to grow first?
Okay, so new gardener, I think you can't go wrong with your tried and true, right? Peppers and tomatoes, pretty easy. Collard greens, man. Even when I didn't try to grow them, collard greens like came up. Like a couple years, I was just like, I'm just not gonna do anything with the garden. Collard greens were like, hey, we here, we outside. So
Yeah.
collard greens be thugging it, man. Yeah, I mean, when the frost came, everything else died. Collard greens said, hey, we still outside, man. So collard greens, you can't go wrong with collard greens. Tomatoes, peppers, maybe beans. That's another, I think, easy one to grow.
Windy there. Well,
Yeah.
why don't we continue?
All right, can you hear me?
Jump for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, the greens, man. Greens too,
Say again.
I said collard greens, mustard greens. Yeah, they some thugs. They can make it through. They can endure.
Man.
Yeah,
They
so
can endure, boy. They've been through everything, man.
Mm-hmm. But you brought up a very good. I would say grow what you eat. I mean, for instance, one of the things last season, 4 tomato plants. From them 4 tomato plants, I saw about maybe 100 tomatoes, varying shapes and sizes, because I did.
Oh wow!
But at the end of the day, now I use tomatoes. I use tomatoes when I'm cooking. I use tomatoes in salads, of course. Many of the dishes that I cook, yes, I can cook, involve tomatoes. So instead of buying a canned tomatoes, I already had tomatoes, baby. But we eat tomatoes. If you don't like tomatoes, then don't grow them. If you don't like
right,
I like eggplant. I like eggplant like once a year. I mean, eggplant parmesan is awesome, but do I need to eat it every day? No. So I can't justify growing a whole crop of eggplants because I'm not gonna eat egg like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, we don't do eggplants at all. We can't. I mean, we don't be able to do that with eggplants. So again, go back to what you're saying. Some people like to grow pumpkins. I'm like, man, the only thing we do with pumpkins is carve it for Halloween. There's no way I'm growing pumpkins. Maybe eat the seeds. I heard pumpkin seeds is pretty good, but I really can't justify, growing pumpkins. So going back to what you're saying, grow what you eat. I learned this lesson. I had some red or purple lettuce, and I was like, man, it got beautiful, big, it had a pretty good flavor, a little stout, a little earthy, but it was really growing. And then I asked the wife like, hey, what do you think? She's like, I don't really eat red lettuce. I was like, you don't? She's like, no. I said, well, what about the mixed salads? She's like, yeah, I always pick it out. I was like, shoot, I wouldn't have grown it if I'd have known that. Because again, we try to grow the things that we eat. You know what I mean? The things we eat the most is what I'm really gonna focus on, which brings me to strawberries. I'm gonna try to really focus on growing strawberries because man, they don't last around our house. We bought strawberries yesterday. Within maybe 2 hours, they out of there. So if we could grow and have our own little strawberry patch, man, that'll save us so much money. We can have our own berry patch.
Yeah, you got very good. For hooking me up with them strawberry seeds, I put them in the freezer.
No problem.
If you're joining us, I want to let you know. First of all, thank you for joining Urban Gardening with Gray and Urban Harvest. But strawberries. All right. So have you ever looked at a strawberry and wondered, like, hey, strawberry seeds on the outside? Let me just put this strawberry in the ground, and then I should have strawberry plants. Nope, it ain't gonna happen. The reason being is because strawberries, their seeds, even though being on the outside, strawberries go through a frost cycle. So strawberry seeds, you have to literally freeze, and then as soon as you take them out of the freezer, immediately germinate. It's going to trick the seed into like, oh, okay, winter's over, spring is here, let me go ahead and grow. That's the only way you're gonna get strawberries. But yeah, just to say what you were saying, man, like my house, I mean, strawberries, blueberries all day long. My kids love them. They're like candy to my kids. So yeah, that's something that's definitely worth growing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try growing from the seeds, and I'm also try slips, and I'm probably gonna try a few plants. I'm gonna try to hit it for all three angles, man. Like I said, I'm probably gonna hang them. I'm gonna have a strawberry box. I'm probably gonna do a couple of hangers, and then I don't know, maybe try something else. But like I said, as long as I get strawberries.
Right on. I can dig that. So, all right. So you said you're gonna do strawberries this year. All right. I got a couple of things I'm growing, and it's kind of getting out of hand. I already listed cucumbers, tomatoes. I'm also working on my sunflower plants. Started germinating those about maybe 3 weeks ago, and they're about 8 inches tall. I did not expect it to germinate as fast.
Wow.
So exponential growth. And so I got sunflower seeds that germinated, maybe some ground passion fruit. I got a lot of things I'm planting. I figure out how to organize them a lot better. Oh, what you got there?
Worm castings.
Worm casting, baby. Yeah.
While you sit there talking, I'm sitting there getting my little tray ready for my strawberry seeds. While you're sitting there talking, I got a little muffin tin. I'm gonna put little muffin liners in there. Well, I was until it blew away.
Raise it up. Okay, right on.
That way, when they germinate, I could just take the whole paper, and then poke a hole in it and just drop the whole shoot match in a pot. So I don't have to worry about trying to take the roots and not damage the roots. Just gonna drop the whole thing in a pot.
Right on. They're like biodegradable.
Say again?
Biodegradable, so that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, what were you saying now?
No, I'm growing all these things, man. Honestly, like or I need to, organize, because one of my challenges is last year, not every plant same type of soil.
Right.
Berry plant, that was another fail. But because I had planted my blueberry plants too close to my tomatoes take more of a baseline soil, pH levels, a blueberry. So the tomatoes were fine, blueberries died. So
that sucks.
I need to plan my boxes out more so that I know what I'm growing in what zone, what needs 2 feet or 6 inches. I need to know the parameters. So yeah. I know messing with this software. What's that software called again for your gardening?
All right. Let me get this set up real quick. I'm going to drop some seeds while you sit there talking. All right. So the software I've been using is called growveg.com. So it's a great software because I'm like you, man. I had too much going on, and I'm kind of a doer by nature. I'm not really a planner. So I had all this stuff going on, but I really wasn't able to really plan out. So I had a little bit of everything everywhere. And then I come back and be like, oh, shoot, I forgot to plant this. And just, it just wasn't very good. But with this garden planner, it allowed me to kind of not only map out my beds, but it was pretty cool because it'd tell you which plants go together which plants need more nutrients, which plants need more nitrogen, which plants need less nitrogen, which is a nitrogen taker, which is a nitrogen giver. And so it allows you to kind of, visualize your bed so that when you're growing, you can kind of figure out where you want to go or what you want where and kind of optimize your space the best.
Right on. I like that. I threw the website in the chat, but you know what? You did a great video on it. I know how to plant some seeds,
Yes,
but
please give me that video.
yeah, throw that link to the video in the chat so anybody can check it out.
Let's see. I don't think I can add any. It's not letting me add comments. I can star. I can show or hide. You know what? I'll just do it from my phone.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Yep. But I'm excited about this growth season. I need spring to hurry up and get here. I got grand plans. I'm telling you, I plan to plant them all over. Of course, giving them the footage, that 10 to 12 feet that they need to grow, but I want to see those climb up.
Yeah. So let me drop that link real quick.
Yeah, do your thing, man. And for anybody that's in the chat, what are you guys thinking about growing? Got any ideas or want us to talk about any specific type of vegetable, fruit that you're thinking about growing? Throw it in the chat. We can see it and we can address it. It's not us, just us chatting and chilling with us. If any of you are in Baker Creek, just got a notification for him. This is an update for Baker Creek. Is based out of Missouri, and Missouri got a big drop of snow like the last couple of days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and but they notified us that there's going to be a little bit of a shipping delay. But if you're going to order on their website, rareseeds.com, just be patient. So had a huge snowstorm hit them a couple of days ago, so just bear with them. I love rareseeds.com. They're a great website. This is not a paid affiliation. Just I really like their seeds because you can really get some rare stuff. And every once in a while, they'll hook you up with some free seeds too, yo. So yeah, oh yeah, you got your link?
There we go. All right, yeah, I just dropped the link.
One of my buddies, he can't get in the chat, but he just said that he likes to grow okra, but he don't like eating it. Like, well, stop growing okra.
That's funny. I like to grow it, but I don't like eating it. That's funny.
Now, see, I like okra.
Sometimes, I mean, it is what it is. If you like it and it brings you peace, you don't want to eat it, hey, do you? That's just funny, though.
Yeah, I like okra, man. Like especially when you put okra in a gumbo or something like that, or you do fried okra. But when you do your okra, you gotta I know a little bit about cooking. When you do your okra, cooking that gumbo, you don't put it in at the very beginning because what's gonna happen is when you start cooking that gumbo, it's gonna make your gumbo have a real slimy texture to it. So you add that late in the game.
Yeah, the only way I eat okra is fried. It's the only way I really eat okra. Just I don't know. I just never been a big fan of okra. Fried I could do, but outside of fried, I'll pass.
Right up. So what he said, he likes to see big production, and that's it. So okra is gonna grow out pretty big. So yeah, I understand that, because harvesting, you want to see the fruits of your labor. You want to see all of that life that's happening. But that's what I'm gonna say. Still, lean on the side of grow things that you eat. Like for instance, squash. I love planting squash. My wife, not so. If I cook it right, she'll eat it. But she's not a huge fan of squash. But I could eat squash every single day, like a summer squash or a zucchini. Saute those bad boys up with like a rosemary vinaigrette or something. But yeah. I mean, if that's the case, then go, which I do those too. It's funny because when I started growing, it's about vegetables and fruit, but then it branched out into too. So I got my bamboo, I got ivies, and all those other things because I like seeing that production as well. Well, my buddy who said he was like,
Right.
yeah, fuck production. If you're not gonna eat it, maybe shift over to a more like a pothos ivy uh, or a Boston fern or something like that because you can still see that fullness.
Right. So we go more with the house plants.
Right. Well, I'm gonna just say low light plants because a lot of people have argued there's no such thing as house plants. Like plants were here before houses were.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
Right. But yeah, like a ZZ plant. ZZ plant is another good African plant that actually. Oh, what you got there? Some eggs? You got some
No,
honey?
actually, these egg cartons make really good seed starters because they're compostable or decomposable material. So you can take them out if you want to, but honestly, I plan on once they get started, just cutting them up in little pods like peat pods and just dropping the whole thing in the pot.
Nice. I mean, with the
That way
price,
you don't
you got to use
say
everything
again.
you can. I said with the
Yeah,
price,
that way you don't disturb the roots.
you heard me.
Say again.
I said with the price of eggs, you got to use everything that come with them eggs.
Yes, you do. Yeah, so I got this. I'm gonna get this going. Get some broccoli, kale, cabbage going, and get that started in these. And I want to do some more microgreens. I had really good luck with them, but I think I put them in too big of a pot. It's like way overkill, unnecessary. So I had a big planter box about this tall, about this wide for the microgreens. So now what I'm going to do, see if I got my trays with me. Oh yeah, I do. So now what I want to do, I actually want to grow them in these little lunch trays. So that's my next thing is to kind of grow them in these to kind of see how they do. So I got a couple of these, like Tupperware takeout boxes you get from restaurants or whatever, and go pop a couple of holes in it, and then I'm gonna fill it with some soil and some sand and some worm castings, and then I'm gonna do some microgreens.
Nah, yeah, with microgreens, I know you don't need that much soil with microgreens. You need about maybe
No,
like depth worth. Uh,
yeah, like honestly, this would be the perfect depth for microgreens because they're just gonna grow up like so. It's all they don't have a very big root system. So
right.
honestly, what I had before was way overkill.
Mm-hmm. In the chat, says she grown black Aztec corn. Purchased from. That sounds dope. I want to see this black Aztec corn and see what it looks like. Cause that
Black
sounds
Aztec fern.
yeah. It's in the chat. Black Aztec corn. So it's gonna be corn with black color to it, and it's from
Huh.
indigenous. So that sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I want to check that out. So I hope she definitely posts a video about that. See how that progress. I mean, corn plant, you talk about a plant that's gonna get 8 to 10 feet. It's like the sunflowers. So you're talking about they're gonna need some space for sure, for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I did have a question for you. So, have you started on your hoop house that's gonna go over your box yet?
Not yet. I will. So next thing I need to do is I need to set this box over here and kind of level it out. And once I level it out and kind of see what I got and go back to my blueprint, I'm going to start. So I'm gonna do. I got bed this 6x8x4 bed right here behind me. You can't see it. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 4 hoops on that, and the other one is gonna be a smaller bed. I think I'm gonna do 3 hoops on that one. So I'm just kind of figuring out kind of how tall up I want the hoops to go. I don't think I want them too high because then you do danger of getting winds and stuff. And if you don't secure really well, the winds will get underneath it and rip it right up, man. So I think I'm gonna do a lower tunnel.
Like that. Yeah, I want to throw the hoop over my new box as well. Because I have my main 10 foot by 10 foot, but in the main box, I'm going to kind of split that 10 foot by 10 foot, go straight in the middle at like around 5 foot, and create me a walking path so I'm not stepping on the soil. But then in this new,
Yeah.
it's about 6 by 6. Um, again, still trying to figure out what I'm planting, what I'm gonna put in what box, and I might put third well to get some more of my vining plants that like to creep and crawl. Bugs and Harmony say creeping on the come up.
Yeah. And that's why I like that garden planter, because I was able to visualize like, oh, you know what? I thought I was going to put them here, but you know what? Now that I think about it, that's not going to work. Because, you were able to kind of map it out and visually see it. And then you start thinking like, ooh, you know what? I think I'm going to plant these over here because that's probably not a good idea. So that's why I really like that Grow Veg software.
Yeah. It keeps you a little bit more organized. I like that. Oh, what you got there?
Micro seeds. That's what I forgot to give you when I came by. Some micro seeds. I got a gang of micro seeds. It's like freaking 5,000 seeds or something for like $4. It's a gang of them.
Wow. Well, I appreciate it, but my soul sister, her for that, she hooked me up with microgreen seeds, and it's funny because my kids are like, "Hey, Daddy, we need to grow some of these microgreens because I want to just be able to pick them and eat them." So they're already excited about growing some microgreens. So I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, there's an herb for that. She hooked me up. See, and that's the point I want to make too. Because I had a comment yesterday in one of my videos about gardening, and that's a point I want to make. Grow together, yo. Get you a community, get some like-minded, and all of you grow, because this again can be an expensive hobby. But if you're all growing something and you're sharing seeds, you're sharing tools, you're sharing time, it's not so much of a expensive project because you're sharing the wealth, and then plus you're building up your community, right? So, what you got there? What's that?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, Rockside hat.
I've been using that to kind of keep the beds kind of moist, and it kind of fights off fungus and stuff. I do a little 50-50 mix to kind of, do my initial spray down to the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take much.
Yeah, man. Going like, with you and I, and, with there's an herb that, and the Soil Family, which we met them on YouTube. They're awesome, awesome group.
Yeah, man, they really. I've learned a lot. And, got a lot of hacks and tips from those guys. Nicole Grows hooked me up with some apple tree cuttings.
Right.
So shout out at Nicole Grows. You need to go see her, check her out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Black Tropical Forest, Grow My Own, Broke Farmer, all those guys, man, they doing their thing. And it's really cool because, like I was saying, it's beautiful seeing, let's just be honest, seeing, minorities, do things positive and, not just on TikTok dancing all day or
Hey. With that being said, that's a great thing that we're all coming together and growing. So that's why I'm saying community is key. So, gardening won't be free, but you can minimize it by growing together with folks. And then plus it's cool. It's a good pastime.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, instead of spending a whole bunch of money on seeds, you got seeds, I got seeds, we can split the seeds up. You got a tree, you can give me one of your cuttings. I got a guy from work. He's got like blackberries. He's going to give me some blackberry cuttings. He's going to bring me some lime tree cuttings and stuff. So, if you do that, like you said, you could really deter the cost, really mitigate the cost by, sharing cuttings, by sharing seeds, by sharing seedlings, ends to propagate stuff like that.
Exactly. Bet. So I got a question for you, bro.
All right.
What do you know about soil microbes?
Soil microbes. Oh, that's a big fancy word. I like them fancy words. Make you sound really smart. Soil microbes. So it's funny because the more and more I'm getting into YouTube, the more I'm actually learning about gardening. Before I was more of a stick it in the ground, let's see if we grow type guy. And 60-40% success rate, because nature by and large, for the most part, kind of has it covered. It's just that, sometimes where you're at, they have a big deal to do with your success. So like where I'm at now, it's like super clay, rocky soil. So, I have to take that into account. Whereas before, when I moved up here 10 years ago, it was really good black soil, and a dead tree had fell down and deteriorated into the soil. So the soil was like, hey, I'm good. I don't really need no help. So I literally just threw seeds in the ground and everything grew up like to the point to where I had more tomatoes and cucumbers that I could eat. Whereas now, not so much good soil, so it's a little temperamental. So I gotta, figure out what I need to do. But essentially, the whole idea of soil microbes, from my understanding, and again, I'm no expert, no soil scientist or soil whisperer, but essentially that nature's soil has bacteria, has things within it needed to grow, and we essentially just have to maintain that soil balance, right? I mean, you got alkalines, you got sulfurs, you got acidity level. It's just maintaining that perfect balance and maintaining that perfect health. Even the pests sometimes they actually add nutrients. Worms they add nutrients back to your soil, and essentially just using natural stuff to kind of add bacteria and just natural nutrients back into your soil that would have already been there, but since we are industrialized and civilized, a lot of the nutrients have been already stripped out of a lot of our land. So we're trying to essentially really try to get back what was already there.
Man, look at you. You sound official like a referee with a whistle, man. I'm proud of you.
Tell me about it.
Look, I was messing with you, bro, because I was going to sit there like, when people try to teach me about permaculture and microorganisms and so I'm like, look, can I just stick this around? But you're right. You are creating a biodiversity in the soil. When you're watering the soil, when you're fertilizing the soil, that's when plants grow. Right. A lot of those indigenous things things will be there for the fauna. Flora, excuse me. I'm messing up my scientific term. That's what I'm saying. I'm no soil expert. But your flora, should get everything it needs out of the soil. But I'm not. When you come to my channel, don't expect to see a whole bunch of permaculture and stuff like that. I mean, I just, I'm gonna see it.
Hey, we stick it in the ground, see if it'll grow, baby. It either will or it won't.
By hook or by crook.
It either will or it won't.
Will or it won't. So yeah, so that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, so I gotta finish planning out that box of mine too. Like I said, I gotta finish putting those hoops on there, run that chicken wire across the top so that my vining plants can have something to creep. That's what I got planned.
Yeah. I gotta get ready to start putting these strawberries out the freezer. I can put some more strawberries in there. They did good when I put them in the freezer. Put the chilling hours on it, tricked it to going into hibernation, if you will. And when I took them out, they started growing. Man, they got like that tall. But I don't know what happened, man. They just kind of like just died back out. They were real leggy and real long and leggy. They just ended up falling back out. So I'm gonna try it again. This time I'm gonna try to add a little more sand. Add sand to the soil, make it a little more sandier.
Yeah.
Kind of give it better drainage. And just try it again, see if it'll grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Might as well. It will or it won't.
I still got a ton of strawberry seeds I've been having for a few years. I want to try to use them up by this season so I get some more. I mean, seeds last a good while, but honestly, I wouldn't keep seeds more than maybe 4 or 5 years. Unless you keep them in good condition, they might start drying out.
Right. No, good point. And I would definitely recommend growing from a seed as opposed to growing from a seedling because, yeah, you can easily go to like the hardware stores. But I mean, we talk about $4 or $5 a plant. And that's why going again, that's how this is going to become an expensive habit because why am I going to pay $5 for some romaine lettuce seedlings, put them in the ground, wait for them to grow? It's cheaper to buy romaine at the store than to buy that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how you're actually losing money. So if you're growing seed, I mean, you get a 5-6 pack of seeds. I mean, you got like 100 seeds in there. That's where you're winning.
Yes. You go to Dollar Tree, get 4 packs of seeds for $1. I mean, man, I got some kale. They died, but I'm looking at them now. Man, they coming back, man. They ain't thugging it like the collard greens, but they refuse to quit. And they're coming back after that frost. But honestly, I had wasted some seeds in the bag, and I was like, man, I don't know what this is. I just dumped them in the side of the thing, and then the kale started coming up. And we like kale quite a bit. So you think about it, that little pack of kale seeds was like $1. I think those were like $1, maybe $1.50, $1.99. So that $2 pack of kale seeds themselves, the kale, from my understanding, they're going to keep coming back. If it's healthy, it's going to die, come back quite a bit, like collard greens. Like you get a good healthy root system on those collard greens, they can come back, several growing seasons before you have to, plant more.
Right, right. But my buddy, he just hit me up. He said, "Yeah, but growing from a seed takes so long. It
Yes,
depends
it
on
does.
growing and how you're doing the germination. So those germination hacks we were talking about at the beginning with the insulation and aluminum foil, they'll speed up that time. Because
Yes.
like when I talk about those sunflowers, dude, the sunflower packet that I got said that it should take about, I think, 7 to 10 days to germinate. I germinated them in 4
Wow.
because the soil was rich. I threw some worm casting in there and I created that humidity. If you haven't seen it, back and watch my sunflower. But yeah, aluminum foil over my peat pots, trapped in all that humidity, and boom, out came my sunflowers, and they ready to go, baby. So you can shorten that germination time depending on what conditions you add to it. So it is condition based.
Yes, heat is a big factor. You want to increase your germination time. So what I'm planning on doing with these microgreens, I'm going to take them, set them in a full pan, put a little bit of water in there so it'll absorb, and set them in the full pan, and then put heat. I actually want. I just thought about this a couple of days ago. Take those hot hand warmers. Take a pack of those. Stick them underneath the tray for the first 3 days to kind of get it heated, warm, or maybe set it on top. I think I'm gonna set it on top. Set it on top of it and set the water on the bottom, and that'll give it like a constant heat and humidity. Because again, the LED lights just don't get that hot, and since they're gonna be in that full pan, it's gonna kind of trap that heat in there. So it's gonna be a pretty cool experiment. I might do one with the hot hands and one without, just to see which one grows faster. Matter of fact, I'm gonna mark that now so I won't forget.
Right. It's funny you said that because you know what it made me think of. You're creating a biodome type of situation. So then it made me think of that movie with Pauly Shore, Biodome, boy.
Biodome. But yeah.
Need to go back and watch Biodome, man. Yeah. But the only thing I would say is be cautious of is make sure it's not applying too much heat directly because you don't want to cook the seeds,
Yes. But because those hot hands, they don't get terribly like hot. They get really more of a warm. So what you could do, you could actually leave them out for about 30 minutes to kind of taper off. And as the longer they stay, the more they start tapering off. So they might get maybe right out the pack, maybe 80 degrees right out the pack. You know what I mean? Because they're meant to stick your hands and kind of keep you warm. They're not like just burning hot. Right. So they might get maybe 80 degrees out the pack, and then they'll start slowly digressing. So I think, and then the full pan is going to trap it in there. So it'd be pretty cool, like I said, to see, kind of see how that works.
Yeah, that's not definitely keep me updated on how the progress goes. I'd love to see that video because that's a cool hack. So going back to what we were talking about germinating seeds, man. Like if you really are trying to germinate, it's a timeline. And again, that's how you're winning because 25-cent seed packet or $1 seed packet, you got hundreds of plants in there. So you'll be in it to win it.
Yes,
so yeah, we got a comment from there's an herb for that. She just planted 10 seeds with some beans and some squash, just like the ancestors, right? Right. Uh-oh, what was that?
That train they came all day. That train they came all day, but the moment I come outside, now it wants to show up.
Yeah, of course, you're doing something. That's what's. You know what's funny? Because I'm sitting out too. I haven't heard my chickens the whole entire time. So I'm wondering what they're doing over there. Because usually, anytime I come outside, they're like, decide you want to raise indoor. You want to raise chickens for eggs. Do not put their coop right next to your bedroom. That was just like horrible planning on my part. Because every morning at 5 o'clock, Ike, my rooster, he is up and early and oh my God. So yeah. Poor planning. The reason why I did that though, I'm actually glad I did do it, even though I get woken up so early in the morning, is because of the predators that I have out here in my area. I actually had a bobcat take one of my birds one morning. So since I heard that bobcat because it was so close to my bedroom, I was able to go and run the bobcat off. It still did take one bird, but it could took my whole flock.
That's good. They said they get all of them.
Yeah, it had a quick chicken dinner though. Winner chicken dinner. Right on. So man,
Well,
about your what is it? Your coffee bean. Anything else you said some passion fruit. What else are you thinking about? Peak or rare?
so I think that's pretty much it. Some apple trees. I'm gonna try to grow some apple trees.
Right on. Yeah. I appreciate those apple cuttings too, because I want to throw some apple trees out because I already got my peach tree out in the front, but I want to try to have as many fruit as possible out in front of my house because I just want to make a food forest, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to start wrapping this thing up, brother. I got to get ready to make a couple of runs, take a quick nap before I hit the streets running.
Right on, brother. Well, hey, I appreciate your time, and for everybody that's joined in for the live stream, what we like to say here at Urban Gardening with Gray is enjoy life, enjoy your family, and enjoy your garden. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave, and make sure you hit that subscribe. All right, see you later, guys.
Like and subscribe. Likewise, from Urban Harvest, we want to say have a good day. Have a good day from Urban Harvest. Urban Gardening with Gray, aka the Plant Daddy. Urban Harvest, aka Mr. Let Me Help You Out.
Right on.